Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of GoSell Weekly. My name is Sean and I'm from GoSell.ca. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can get more clients through cold outreach in today's age. Okay, first of all, and this is extremely important, and it might not sound as important, but it is social proof. You know, what is cold outreach? Cold outreach means that you're reaching out to people who are completely strangers to you. That's why it's cold outreach. They don't know you, and it's just 100% cold outreach, right? And if you're reaching out to strangers, what would happen? They would only trust you if you're looking trustworthy, if you're looking genuine, and if you're looking, credible. And trust me, I actually had inquiries where people they want to hire us to do cold outreach, and they don't even have a website, and they're not on LinkedIn. And my point is that if you're, people that you're reaching out to, if they want to Google you, if they cannot find anything, guess what they're going to do? They're just going to ignore you. But on the other hand, if they do see you online with your pictures, with a bunch of videos or case studies, reviews, LinkedIn pages about your education background, about your work history, and if you look like a real human being who's digital, what would happen? They would trust you more. So a lot of social proof, 100%. I cannot stress enough. Now, how do you do it? There are a few things, as I mentioned. Your website or your LinkedIn or your social media pages for your businesses, they should have client reviews. Definitely. They should have, client reviews, testimonials, tons of case studies, as many case studies as possible. Okay. VSL is a video sales letter. There's a reason I'm recording this, eh? There's a reason I'm recording this. Why? Because I want people that, when my company do the cold outreach and when they get an email from a random company in Canada, GoSell.ca, and if they Google it and if they somehow can come to this YouTube channel, would they hate it? Especially if they're in the market for a service like this, and if they're now comparing me with my, competition, that's one reason I'm recording this video. Okay, so you have to do this. Social media accounts, you have to have LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook for your business, especially LinkedIn and Twitter. You would have to keep it active. Twitter, especially if you're in tech space. LinkedIn for sure. It doesn't matter what industry you are in. Just post things about your business, about anything really. As long as it's professional, just post. You have to have portfolio. If you're a web design agency, then your web design portfolio. If you're a roofing company, then your roofing portfolio. Anything, whatever you do something. You're running a business, you do something. Whatever is it that you do, post it. Post it. Post anything you think that's relevant that you do in your business. Anything, any service you offer, it doesn't matter. Okay, do not hide. Of course, don't share your secrets or anything, just like confidential information, obviously, but share whatever you can. Just post content. It's that simple. Okay, that's one. So you have to do social proofing, right? Let me actually. Okay, the other thing is finding leads. Okay, to find people. How do you find people? Okay, yeah, I've divided it into two different categories: white collar and blue collar. Okay, what does white collar mean? White collar means people who are attorneys or accountants or tech CEOs, in white collar industry. Blue collar means blue collar industry, trucking companies, construction companies, tow truck companies, roofing companies. If it's a white collar, like if you want to reach out, if your target market is attorneys or accountants or CEOs or HR executives, what have you, then use tools like Apollo, Uplead, Sales Navigator, Seamless, tools like that, because they just make it super easy to find people. Okay. If they're blue collar, but their employee size is like 20 plus, 25 plus, whatever, like bigger companies, then although the industry is blue collar, although it's a construction company, but because a company has 200 employees, they have a CEO, they have a VP marketing, they have a VP HR. So although it's a blue collar industry, but because it's a big company, you can actually obviously use these tools because a lot of these folks would be, on Apollo. Now, obviously, if you're reaching out to a trucking company with 1,000 employees and if you want to reach out to an actual truck driver, then it's not going to work out. But if you want to reach out to a CEO of a trucking company, then obviously, although it's a blue collar industry, you can use the tools that I've just mentioned in the white collar industry. Okay. Now, what if it's less than 20 employees? That's the tricky part because if it's a blue collar industry like trucking company or, for example, a tow truck company, which is one owner operator, then it's extremely easy to reach out to them just through Google search. It's really difficult to find them on LinkedIn or Apollo. So just do Google search, yellow pages, directories, and just cold call them. Okay. And we will, speaking of cold calls, now we know that how we should be reaching out, how we should be finding them. What about to reach out to them? How can we reach out to them? Again, I've divided it into the similar industry. So if it's white collar industry, okay, and it's in this order: LinkedIn first, emails next, cold calls third, in this order, because they will be on LinkedIn, they are definitely on email. And if it's blue collar industry, although blue collar, but 20 plus employees, big companies, same thing. LinkedIn them, email them, and cold call them at the end. You can do all three and make like an omni-channel approach, and we recommend it. But if you're on budget or if you don't have time, just start with LinkedIn and emails and cold calls at the end. Okay. But if it's a smaller company, that tow truck guy example, owner operator, just one guy, just call him. Just call him up. That's that simple. I can tell you, owner operators, they're not going to be on LinkedIn, and if they are, they're not going to look at it every now and then. So it's going to be extremely difficult for you to reach out to them on LinkedIn. If you have a lot of budget and a lot of time, then sure, do LinkedIn, do calls. If they don't answer, sure, or maybe do LinkedIn as a follow up or email as a follow up. But any company with like less employees, like 5 employees, 11 employees, 7 employees, it's really easy to just call them up. It's that simple. Okay. If you are doing LinkedIn, there's few things you would have to do to make sure that it's successful, that it's working out. You have to have a really professional profile picture. It has to show who you are. You have to look authentic. You just don't want to look like a bot. You have to have a headline, a summary, your work experience, your skills, achievements, job description. Just fill LinkedIn as much as possible, with information, with pictures, with cover photos and whatnot, endorsement, reviews, whatever. Anything that LinkedIn offers, just utilize it and make sure it looks like a proper, credible, authentic profile. It's extremely important. If you're using LinkedIn to reach out to people, you have to have Sales Navigator, because not only to find people, because LinkedIn actually lets you find people. LinkedIn Sales Navigator has the search feature that can help you find people, but it can actually also give you higher sending limits. You can reach out to more people. You also get in-mail credits. What that means is, instead of now sending connection requests, you can also send them in-mails, like direct messages. I would definitely encourage you not to do just in-mails, because you won't get that many anyway, but just in-mails is not going to work. So definitely do send connection requests, and do sell, and you do send in-mail credits for sure on top of it. Uh, Most accounts do qualify for a free trial, so check it out, because a lot of accounts do, especially if you've never claimed a first month free offer. They usually just give it to you for free. It's month to month, it's not that expensive, and you can cancel anytime. The other thing you can do to do cold outreach is cold emails. Okay, you can reach out to people using cold emails. And I just mentioned how you can find them. So let's say Apollo, Crunchbase, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, Uplead, Seamless, tons of tools out there that you can use to find their emails. Once you have their emails, because they're from internet, they might be wrong. They might be invalid. They might be old. Maybe the guy's shifted and not working in that company anymore, and that email just doesn't exist. So you don't want to trust those emails blindly. Those tools, they will give you wrong emails all day long. Half of them are going to be wrong. Think about it that way. If you're sending out emails that are wrong, what's going to happen? They're going to bounce, and they're going to actually affect negatively uh, your email reputation. Your domain reputation is just going to tank, but you don't want to take that risk. So it's really simple to fix that problem. There's tons of tools out there like Never Bounce, Zero Bounce. There's another one that's super cheap called Proofy. And this video, by the way, is not sponsored or anything. So these are the tools that we use every day. Use those tools to validate those emails. So let's say you want to reach out to 1,000 people. I would say find 2,000 emails from those tools that I mentioned, and then validate them. And you will see that about 1,000 of them, about half of them are valid. And the other half would either be wrong, like indeliverable, invalid. So those ones you definitely don't want to reach out to for sure. Some of them would be risky. Risky is also called catch-all. That means the system cannot verify if they're valid or not valid. If you're a beginner, I would say just stay away from risky. There are tools out there you can Google that can actually verify the risky ones, but it's not these tools, Never Bounce or Zero Bounce, like the other tools, but those are a little bit more expensive. You can definitely use it if your target market is super small. If all you have is 5,000 people in the world to reach out to, then sure. Then you don't want to miss out, right? You want to max out the leads that you have. So use those tools then. But if it's like you have like hundreds of thousands of people that you want to reach out to, then I wouldn't spend money, in those expensive tools. Just reach out to people with deliverable or valid emails. Okay, so that's step number one. Use secondary domains and emails. I've actually recorded another video that specifically is about this topic, so I'm just going to leave that link in the description, or just find it on my channel. Do not use your primary domain. It's for deliverability. Use like secondary domains and secondary emails. Those emails must be configured. The DNS settings, it has to be done through the DNS setting. If you don't know how to do it, let us know. We can do it for you, or just hire any freelancer or any tech guy. And it's super easy stuff. The DKIM, DMARC, and SPF records have to be configured. It improves the deliverability. The emails have to be warmed up. two tools that we use right now, and we may change it later. But so far, we are using Instantly and Smart Lead. Those are the two tools that we are using to not only warm up the email but also send out the emails. And speaking of Instantly and Smart Lead, they also have a feature called spin text variable. So a spin text variable is basically, you write an email, but use different words like synonyms, so everyone gets slightly different version of an email, something like that. So, and those tools, they have this feature. So do that because it helps the deliverability. You also want to do some personalization, and you want to do a lot of A/B testing. Now, you want to do A/B testing to make sure that over time you know which script is performing better. But on top of it, you also want to do A/B testing for the sake of deliverability. That's also important. So I would say do A, B, C, D, E testing, or A, B, Z testing. As much A/B testing as possible for sure, especially if you're at beginning. At the end, cold emails, just like any other marketing, is actually regulated. So depending on where you are, make sure that you're compliant with the local laws. If you're in the US, it's CAN-SPAM. If you're in Canada, it's CASL, which is Canadian anti-spam legislation. In Europe, it's GDPR. Just make sure that you're compliant. It's extremely important. Cold calls, I would say you can definitely use it, but do not make a call to sell. It's extremely difficult. I mean, not that we cannot sell, but it's extremely difficult. Use a call to basically start a conversation and then just get in there. It's like the first point. You initiate the process through cold calls, and then you communicate with them. You convey the message. Maybe they're somewhat interested. You get their email, then send them an email like a brochure or a catalog and an offer, whatever. If they don't answer, maybe call them again to follow up. So use cold calls. Definitely use cold calls, but make sure that you're not like extremely pushy, or because it's going to be extremely difficult. Then no one is expecting a call from you. Let's face it. People don't like cold calls. Let's face it. It's part of the game, right? People don't like, I don't like cold calls. I know you don't like cold calls either, especially if it's from like a different country or whatever. So please make sure that you are not calling to sell on that first attempt. So have that mentality, build a pipeline, build a funnel, and then close it eventually. So that should be the goal of a cold call. If you can ask, just ask to drop by, just ask, like if it's like if you are in the same city, one of the call to actions that we can use is, hey, can I just drop by? Because that would mean that, hey, you're local, they can trust you better, and they can be like, yeah, sure, just drop by. I want to meet you. I'm interested, right? And then you can just do it the old school way, old fashioned way, just go there and close in person. Or just ask them if I can email you the catalog or brochure, as I just mentioned. Build connection, ask if you can follow up. The tools that we use is Dialpad to make calls, RingCentral, OpenPhone, Phone.com. Tons of tools out there that you can use. Again, do not spam people. Treat cold calls only to get the introduction, get the process started. That's it. Omnichannel. This is something that we recommend. This is something that we do for our own outreach. So what you can do, especially for hard to reach prospects, you want to do everything. You want to build a funnel, and you want to reach out to them through calls, through emails, through LinkedIn, and so that they know you. You look like a familiar face. It's just going to make things easier, and it's actually going to convert better for sure. Document everything from day one. This is extremely important. I would say if it's like up to 1,000 people, then don't spend money on CRM like HubSpot or Zoho, because they might be super expensive. And if you just want to reach out to 1,000 people, then don't do that. But if you want to reach out to 1,000 plus, especially if it's like 10,000, 20,000, then don't use spreadsheet for sure. I would say anything more than 1,000, just don't use spreadsheet. Just get a CRM. And HubSpot, as of right now, HubSpot has a free version, so it's not going to cost you anyway. Okay. This is it. That's all you can do to do cold outreach in 2024. As of right now, things can change because there's tons of different tools, tons of different technology, AI, tons of AI startups right now that are really revolutionizing the cold email game. So things can change, but as of right now, it's June 2024. This is what we do in cold outreach. So you find the people, you reach out to them through cold email, cold call, and LinkedIn outreach or omnichannel. You want to make sure there's enough content and stuff about you, a lot of social proof about you online, so that it's easier for them to trust you. And that's it. And then just keep doing the volume, and hopefully you will get clients. And hey, this is actually one thing that we do. GoSell.ca is my company, and we do exactly this. So if you're busy, if you don't know how to do it, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to help. Sean at GoSell.ca, and feel free to comment below, and please subscribe to this channel if you like my face. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.